This is a crazy simple question, but you need to know your formulas for interest rates, which is this. Your final amount is equal to your principal on investment times 1 plus the interest rate to the number of mortgage periods. Now, what's interesting is when it's just compounded once, hang on, the only problem is sometimes the interest rate is compounded 4 times. So that means you have to divide it by 4 here and multiply it by 4 here. Sometimes the interest rate in this question only happens every 2 years, or only increased by 7% 2, like that. So you have to put a 2 here. Let's see, every 2 years, I think we might have to put a 2 here as well. I'm going to investigate that. But essentially, it's saying every 2 years. I don't think so. I think this is a pretty basic question. It's saying every 2 years, 7% is applied. Well, for that, I have to take 2 divided by 2, because after 2 years, it becomes divided by 2, becomes a 1. That's when the 7% interest is applied. So that makes sense. So that means this is the formula, T over 2, because I need to negate that 2 years, which means the principal is $65, 65,000 would go here. But they're not telling me, and they tell me the interest rate is here. Yeah, it didn't say compounded every 2 years, so I think this is correct, like that. And then the land is assessed. So in this case, we're going to need some algebra. By the way, 1 plus 1.07 here. Is that? Move it over a bit. There you go. Good enough. And they're saying they want to know when, time, so we don't know it. The value of the final land is 230. So this 230 goes here. So this is a log question. It's only 2 marks, so I don't think it's too complicated. Like that. Well, we got to isolate T over 2 before we can do that. I divide both sides by this. This probably divides. We'll see. Might not. We can simplify it from the zeros, though. Resist the temptation to use fractions. We're going to leave it. We're just going to get rid of 3 zeros on both. They can also both be divided by 5. This one becomes 5, 1, 12. This one becomes 4, 6. So this is the simplified fraction. Oh, that's not right, because 24. Yeah, now they can both be divided by 2. 23 over 6. That's a lot easier to use. But it wouldn't matter if you didn't want to. If you were in a rush, you wouldn't have to. Now the only way we can get to that is take the log of both sides. This is the only way you can get to an exponent. Because this allows me to bring the fraction, the exponent up here, T over 2 down in front. T over 2. And this just becomes a number on the right. Well, if I want to get that T over 2 and it's being multiplied by a number, I can divide it by this. And then it's also being divided by this too. So I'll put the whole thing in brackets and multiply by 2. Now, normally these questions say two decimals or whatever, but this one didn't. So you could just say this is the final answer if he says, I want an exact answer. Or more likely, you could solve it. Also realize that when you have log base 10 like this, divided by log base 10 like this, I'm allowed to rewrite my log like this. This is also the log of this with this base. That's log base 1.07 of 2306 times 2. So that's a simplified way of rewriting it. But now we'll just use our calculator. And we'll take 23 divided by 6. And we'll take the log of it. And then we're going to divide it by the log of 1.07. And hit equals. So we get that. We're going to multiply it by 2. So it's going to take about 39.72 years. I'm going to take the original amount in case I did arithmetic wrong. So it's really 230,000. So I could have just left the 230,000 instead of 23 in there and the 65,000 instead of 6. And I would take a log of that and I'd do a log of 1.07 and I hit equals. And I multiplied by 2. Ah, look at that. I did do another. Did I do? Yeah, I did do an arithmetic there. So it's probably best if we don't simplify and we just leave this. And yeah, and I can already see I did an error because one's reduced down to 23 and one's reduced down to 6, which is not the case. Should be 6.5. So I just leave it like that, or if you really just want to make it a little bit simpler, that's good enough. Yeah, it's not 12 down here, it's 13. And up there, it's still 46. And it can't be simplified after that. So it should have been 46 over 13. Okay, so that's the answer that I got. And you can confirm this in Desmos or whatever, that you got the right answer. When you get the graph, you want to confirm that you did the correct formula, and the money should have gone up 7% after 2 years. 1.07. Let's see. Oh, I forgot 0 here. There we go. There we go. 69,000. To confirm that 69,500 is indeed 7%, you should subtract the 65,000 like that. And you divide it by 65,000. And you can see it went up by 7%. So that means the formula works. Every 2 years it's gone up. And you can then say, well, when is it worth 330,000 or whatever they were interested in? 430,000. We're interested in 230,000. And then you can just see where it crosses the graph. And you can see you got the 37.1535, which was the corrected answer we got. So that is the print. That's how the principal thing is calculated. You have to put the amount that's invested, the percentage. If it's compounded quarterly, you have to divide this by 4 and multiply this by 4, I believe, like that. But that's how this is written here. Every 2 years, it goes up 7%.